Hey everybody, we're up in Anthem today at this 2000 built house. This house was built in 2000. They did a better job than the house we were at yesterday because they do have gutters. Things look a little bit cleaner, but let me tell you, we still have some water evidence down here. We're missing some paint on the foundation, so the water gets behind the paint and just bubbles out, then it falls off. That's what we're seeing down here quite a bit. Moisture related. Efflorescence, I guess they call it. A little bit of stucco cracking, but they've got some pretty fresh paint here. It doesn't look too bad. The main plumbing cleanouts are located right in the front yard, easily accessible. Love to see that. Let's see these gutters get all the roof runoff from this area and dump it down this downspout. And look what we got going on here. I usually recommend these gutters discharge 6 feet from a foundation or a sidewalk, and you can kind of see why. Over time, this sidewalk is settled down substantially because of all the water runoff in this area. That's a good 2-3 inches. So now you've got yourself a nice little trip hazard. But again, with these trees, you don't want to plant a huge tree right in front of your plumbing cleanouts, especially if they're pointed this direction. Got one on top of each other there, so the line is going to go right underneath this tree. A little bit worried about these roots off these trees. These mesquite trees can get kind of messy. You know what, for an AC unit from 1999, this Carrier is sure doing a good job. Looks clean too. So they've done some motor work, but 25 years, that's not bad. Now I'm also a little disappointed on this downspout. They put all these gutters in and all these downspouts, but where they have them terminating, it doesn't make any sense. What are you doing with the water down here, man? What are you doing, trying to just flood this way? Well, you created so much moisture in this area, you caused this thing to settle. You need to get that out, and they need to have a drain on this fence to get that water out of here. There's no reason to be pooling water back here, and if that is the landscape design to pond water in this area to create a retention basin or something like that, you can't put all this stuff here. You got to leave it down. But who's going to follow that? All in all, this house is pretty good. It's a pretty nice house compared to the other day where we had to spend a couple hours just going through all the little nuts and bolts. They did a good job putting this house together. There's not much going on. Bathroom, laundry room, kitchen, didn't see much to speak of. Doors working really good today. They did some patching up on the ceiling. You can see it's really common to get these cracks in here. They did a pretty good job patching. There's no way to get that to completely go away unless you redid the whole surface of the ceiling. But we've got our water heater set up here. The garage door is working good. Now we've got a curb down here. Now this is what I meant by a curb. We've got 3, 4, 5 inches. You can see it's about 4 inches back there, maybe 6 inches over here. So the slab is, it's angled down, it's graded down. So if any water drips down here, it's supposed to go towards the door. At least gravity would tell us that it goes towards the door. So if this water heater leaks, now we've got this going down here. This isn't going to really cause much damage. It might cause a little damage down here because they finished that. But that's a small deal. At least it's not the trim and the sheetrock all the way around. And now we can actually see if there's termites coming in too. So quite often we're going to find termites on these walls inside your garage. Now on the outside of this, it's usually wet, or you got some irrigation or some plants or something like that. And on the inside of the garage, it's not conditioned. So you don't have AC, you don't have anything cutting down on the humidity. So it stays humid in here. You drive a car in here after it rains, it sits here, percolates, all the water drips down, and then it evaporates and goes into the sheetrock, the walls, and the termites find that. Termites will find that in your wall cavity. So I'm glad that they put a curb on this one. It's a lot better setup in my opinion. And see, now today we're at a house built in 2000, just like we were yesterday, but this is up in Anthem and this is by another builder. So we've got some different things. We've actually got the concrete bollard. We still don't have a sediment trap on the water heater, which isn't the end of the world, but we should put one on right there. We got all the connections going good. We got the TPR going outside. We got this 18 inches off the ground. This is a lot better build than we had yesterday. And look, combustion air vents. Much better. Well, at least it's not an alarm system today. Oh God, that's annoying. No, that's gonna drive me mad. up on those vertical walls behind it. You can see those red spots. That's almost 90 degrees up there. These interior walls should be about 10 degrees cooler all the way around, so we're probably missing some insulation. We'll find out when we get in the attic, but it's always good to use a thermal camera. Just check that little stuff. 3 feet. All electrical wires should be 3 feet from the attic access hatch. I shouldn't have to explain this. You understand why anybody open up that access hatch has the potential to damage those wires and get electrocuted. Stupid. And here's that missing insulation. They took off some of it right up here by the HVAC system. So when they come up here and service it, they were probably getting annoyed by all this insulation falling down, going through the hole, so they just grabbed it and they threw it up here. So now you're not insulated in these two little areas. So we follow that down here and look right above us. There's that shelf. There's that missing insulation. It's as easy as that. Now on the kitchen floor, we have a lot of cracked tile. You can see that dark line right there. We're missing a lot of mortar or grout in that line. And a lot of these tiles are hollow. So there's a good possibility that we've got somewhat of a slab crack going on. Something lifting these tiles up to where this is hollow now and this isn't. So we've got a lot of that on the right side tile. Left side's still solid, but the right side's starting to pop up. And then we're missing a lot of this grout in here. So there's a good chance that underneath this floor the concrete's wanting to lift up a little bit, or maybe there's just a crack here displacing these tiles up, creating some space. And that's why we're getting some hollow, and once that moves a little bit, the grout loses its adhesion to the tile and it just falls out. Now the main house, they redid most of the tile floors. Look beautiful. This fake wood or whatever, it's got a little bit of a texture to it, so it's not like completely slippery. You actually have a little bit of traction. Our dog is sliding all over our tile floors right now because they're so smooth. They're so worn out, and all the ridges that it did have, they're not there anymore. And we do have shelves up on top. We were talking about some missing insulation in a few spots up there. Carbon monoxide smoke detector replaced right here and right here in the hallway to protect all the bedrooms from what? All the gas appliances. So we do have a gas furnace up in the attic, right up in that area. And then we have a gas water heater in the garage, and we also have a garage door that might not get closed all the way, so that could let some gases in. So we want to protect our bedrooms with carbon and smoke detectors, both the hallway bathroom or bedrooms and the master, the primary. So we do have adequate protection all the way around this house. They did a good job cleaning it up, man. There's not much to talk about here. Everything's clean, it's white. If you like white, you know, this is the place to be. Windows, we've got a little bit of weather stripping bowing. It's more cosmetic than most anything else. There's that little bow right there. This window is probably the worst. You can see that sticking out. It's just the heat, hot, cold, pushes that weather stripping in a little bit. On the primary, we ran the bathtub. Had a full bathtub in here. No problems, doesn't look like anybody's used this in the last 30 years since the house has been built. No privacy glass, which again isn't the end of the world. We've got a little bit of that weather stripping up there. Then we've got some black-ish marks at the corner of the windows in the bathroom. And you can only imagine that's from moisture getting sucked in from the outside. We're not 100% weatherproof right there. This shower is original. There's not much going on with it wrong. It's just building up a bunch of this calcium deposits, mineral deposits all over it. So it's seen better days. I didn't see any leaking today, but this thing is gonna leak just because we're missing all this down here. And water is just gonna pound right through there, and that's why we have all this stuff on the outside of the door. It's because the water's getting through, it's getting wet, and then it evaporates and leaves all this stuff that came in the water. Sinks, nothing crazy going on. Toilets, didn't break any toilets today. We're good there. No overflows. So we don't have any overflows on these sinks. So if kids are in here trying to fill up the sinks and they go take off, go do something, you know, these things could leak. They could leak all over the floor. You gotta have some overflows in. Even the sliding glass doors are in great condition. the sliding glass door locked and everything. These aren't my favorite latches if you saw my video the other day, but you know, they do work. So other than that, there's not much going on. This is a beautiful house. Waiting for Lisa to show up so we can do a walkthrough. Got about a half hour until they show up. So I'm just gonna work on my report, get all that put together. I love houses like this that people actually give a damn. They actually give a damn about getting the house ready to sell, instead of just like tucking things under the cabinets and pushing things in the walls. It's terrible. This makes me happy to do my job. All right, guys, have a good day. Talk to you later.